It was about 10 years ago. I was with one of my very dearest friends and God brothers. His name was Bhakti Swami. He was an African American who was born in the ghettos of Cleveland at a time in the 1950s and 60s where if you're born in the ghetto, it's a 95% chance that you will live and die in the poverty of a ghetto. The Constitution spoke of civil rights, but the country did not offer civil rights to minorities. But he was incredible, so positive. He never lost hope. He had such faith in God and such a will to do good for others that without even asking, he got a full scholarship to Princeton University. And he graduated. And he was the leader of the civil rights movement at Princeton in the 1960s. That was Martin Luther King's movement. But he had a spiritual calling. And eventually, he became a Swami with the same guru as me, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. He wrote many books. He would give spiritual guidance to people like Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, Alice Coltrane. He called me to his bedside because he was suffering from melanoma cancer. I'd like to tell you one story. One that is etched so deep forever in my heart. Because his health was going through so many ups and downs. But his consciousness was always so humble, so transcendental, so full of compassion and detachment. This is an irresistible combination. Detachment and compassion. Because sometimes to be detached, you're not really compassionate, you really don't care. It's not about me, nothing, no one. So sometimes detachment creates an aloofness. But when there's deep detachment from one's own ego, from one's own selfishness, that's harmonized with profound compassion, real care for others, real willingness to make sacrifice for the welfare of others. That's a combination that can transform people's hearts. So one day he was in so much pain that his whole body was trembling. And they sat him on a chair because he was paralyzed from the waist down. And one of his legs were amputated. So he was just sitting on a chair. And I was speaking to him because we would spend hours and hours just talking about spiritual subjects. But as I was speaking, I could see he couldn't focus on what I was saying. So I began to chant this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as I was chanting, he held my hand. And suddenly, the most blissful smile manifested on his face. His teeth practically went to his ears, it looked like. That's how he was smiling. And his eyes, I never saw him cry when he was in pain, but his eyes were pouring tears of joy. And then he was shaking his head, and he told me, it doesn't get any better than this. Same pain was there, the body was still trembling. I said, what do you mean? He said, it doesn't get any better than this. I would not trade my position for anything or anyone else in the world, because I'm tasting the sweetness of Krishna's names. And then he looked at me and his eyes were glistening with light. And he said, I'm feeling Krishna's love, and I know where I'm going, and I'm ready to go. It doesn't get any better than this.